Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Hilary and I'm the director of the Brand Activators, and congratulations on working with Bethan with her Sell Smarter programme. I hope you enjoyed the challenge. I was part of that challenge as well and found it really useful, and you're in for a real treat working with Bethan. She's got some fabulous programmes and I'm sure you're going to get absolutely terrific results. So I'm here today to do a training with you which is all about stepping up and standing out. I've been working in the events industry for over 26 years now, and I've been helping people to get onto stages and to really show themselves as an expert in their own field. And I'm going to do a little training with you guys to maybe set you on your way to thinking about how you can really be seen as an expert too. So without further ado, let's get started. So step up, stand out, become known not just for what you do, but who you are. That is so important. How many entrepreneurs stand behind their lovely, bright logo, brand, colorways, staff, products, literature that they've had printed? How many do that? Loads do it, don't they? I've done that in the past. I've spent fortunes on the branding and thought I was sort of there with it and everything was cool and great, but actually, until I actually come out in front of all of that, and it's me that the clients meet, it's me on the end of the phone having those conversations, it's me who's working on the product design, it's me that's looking at where I'm finding new customers from as well. And that's really important, and really that's what I want to chat through with you guys today, to show you how you can do that too. So a little bit about me in a little bit more detail. So I left college in 1990. I was actually asked to leave, to be fair. I'd spent far too long partying and missing lessons and just having a great time, that I left college with no qualifications at all from that time. And I had a point to prove, obviously, very quickly, in proving to my parents that I wasn't exactly the waste of space that they thought I was, and that I could go and get a job. And get a job I did. I got a temping job the same day, and I went to work for a kitchen factory, Magnet Kitchens, and I was the door store clerk, which doesn't sound very exciting, but actually it was my really first proper look at business and how businesses worked. And there was a lot of trade unions around at the time, and you know, there was a lot to learn in that time working in the door store, believe it or not. It was all about scheduling production and packaging and managing the staff and what they were picking and that sort of thing. And I had a great time, and I was there for about 4 years, and I became a production scheduler. And in that time, it was just, you know, really great and hectic and all the rest of it. And everything, you just sap everything in when you're younger, don't you? And just take it all on board. Unfortunately, a few years later, in '94, I was made redundant. And at the same time, I discovered that I was pregnant with my first child, which was quite a scary time because I didn't have a job, and I knew I wouldn't be taken on by anybody because I was clearly pregnant. And I wanted money coming in. I wanted to keep earning and working. So I actually saw a job advertised with an enterprise agency, and they were looking for somebody to sell advertising into a business magazine. And I'd seen the business magazine before, and I'd been really interested about the people that were featured, their stories of how they'd started these businesses up, and that they were entrepreneurs. And I saw this thing as entrepreneurs as people that could do work when they wanted, from wherever they wanted, doing what they wanted, and earn what they wanted. So I was like, I want a bit of that. I want to get to know more about that. So I worked at the enterprise agency. They actually took me on with commission only. They wouldn't give me a job. So I persuaded them to just pay me if I sold anything, and sell stuff I did. So I sold advertising into their magazine. But what I did, which is the really first crux of all of this, I just got out and went to see people and networked with people. I met with people. I got on the phone with them, and I was able to really develop really good relationships with the customers. and also give opportunities to my customers for their clients. So for instance, I put on some events for them, and I did some launch days for them, and I invited them to dinners, and I did some golf days, and they brought their clients to golf days. So can you see how working in the events, bringing events into the business, really helped to build really good relationships, not just with my clients who thought I was great for putting on these events, but how they could really get to know their customers really well because they were seen as rewarding or treating them. So we had a lot of success with the magazine and the brand and doing networking events, just like I've mentioned there. And my little black book of suppliers and contacts and networks really started to grow right back then in 1999. And then in 2000, was it 1996, I did the enterprise agencies, business clubs, events and publications, growing that network. Getting people out to speak at events was really good, and we got asked by more and more organisations if we could help them and run their events for them as well. So we co-founded Enterprise Event Management. And then in 2000, I discovered I was pregnant with my second baby, went for the Millennium Baby, but missed out by a few days. And 6 years after that, I decided I really wanted to go and start my own business properly. I've been part of other people's businesses and really making them zing for them in events and networking. And in 2006, I started a children's events company, having spent so much time, like many people do, on their weekends in church halls or play centres, watching their kids having their parties and thinking I could do so much better. And I did. I created Wild Child's events. So I ran that for 11 years. It started as a children's events company. And in the end, we were doing far more than just children's events. All our events were pretty unique. They were all themed. We had lots of equipment that went with them. We had lots of big game hire, you know, your bouncy castles, assault courses, rodeo balls. But then we had lots of props, and then we had lots of theming for masquerade balls, Wild West events. We got into weddings and floristry, and I had quite a team in the end. And I built the business really with a plan that I'd franchise it. But unfortunately, it didn't really it wasn't really the model that I thought it would be, and it wasn't something that I wanted to take forward. So I closed the business a few years later, had it for 11 years, and I then decided to go and work with a consultancy company just to figure out what I was going to do next. And all of a sudden, I'd been there 3 years, and I'd been part of the team delivering the Made Festival that took place in Sheffield, which was voted one of the top 10 conferences in the world to attend by entrepreneur.com. I was events director before I knew it. I was running events to do with satellite applications, venture capital, business development programs, meet the buyer events. It was just back into that corporate world. I would have done an awful lot of awards, dinners, lectures, expos, exhibition events throughout my career. Right back from my enterprise event management days, I've just, really done events. But in all of that time, I have been putting people onto stages, because they're the people that will either sell seats and delight my client, or they will be giving expert content to a cold audience that we're looking to manage and to, and to really look after and nurture to get them to eventually become our customers. So we use events for that, and I use speakers as the tool for that. So I launched in 2017 the Brand Activators, which was a speaker agency and events consultancy. So I brought all the speakers that I'd worked with over the years and said to them, listen, I'm thinking of putting together a speaker bureau. What do you think? Would you come in? And there was a resounding yes. So I knew that I had a good base to start with. So Ranulph Fiennes was my very first speaker that I brought in, the legendary explorer. I have people in there like Kanye King, founder of Mobo Awards. I have Bear Grylls there. I have Michelle Moan, founder of Ultimo. I have over 70 speakers in the bureau. Some are very high profile, others are not so. I've got a lot of entrepreneurs in there. I have sporting people, Tessa Sanderson as an example of people that I have there. And I'd like to build a mix of people. And most of them, 99% of them, I have worked with and put them on stages. The others who are new, I've been putting those on stages too. You know, I've got adventurers and all sorts of people. I've got people who speak on tech, digital, marketing experts, sales experts, LinkedIn experts, right across the board. And there is space for everybody to be into speaking. So how can you become a speaker? What is it that you can do? It might be that you don't want to be a speaker on a stage that gets paid per se, but you would like to be seen as a little bit more of an expert so that you can have a bit more confidence when you're selling. You can be seen as the expert and you can attract attention, especially if you're leading a business, if you're the founder of the business. To be able to step up and stand out is such a beneficial thing to be able to do, and it's one of the best free marketing tactics that you will ever use within your business. So why be seen as an expert? Because you can comment as an authority in your field, and people will look for you to comment as an authority in your field. You will attract new customers, and that they could be all over the world. You know, by default, business will flow to you as you get seen and heard. People will want the thing that you're selling. With all the information and all of the work that you're doing, as you're commenting, as you're being seen as an expert, gather that information and create the content, the images and the video that will help you and that will help sort of expand that brand even further. You will find that there will be collaboration opportunities. People will come and want to work with you. You will develop more product lines really by default, because of as people are trying and testing and using your product, you'll get such great feedback, the good and the bad, that you will be able to then take that forward and look at how you develop other products. With that, ultimately, you'll get opportunities to speak on more stages. That could be speaking on the sofa for a TV program. That could be just on LinkedIn. This could be using Instagram. This could be on a stage at somebody's event. This could be winning a masterclass. This could be doing some guest interviews. So you can see that as soon as you step forward from that brand, that the opportunities are there for you if you're prepared to take the risk and opportunity with it. I wouldn't say risk as much, actually. It's not really a risk, it's more of a confidence leap, and I'll come on to that. So I've got this little checklist to go through, and there is an associated workbook that you've got as well, and that really just gives you a few pointers that you can start to think about and fill in so that you create that own story to become more visible. So sanity check 1, why do you do what you do? What does it do and where is it? I mean, it's quite simple, isn't it? You just need to work through those bases to build that story, to start telling your credible story, to bring in, like I've just told you about the work that I've done, where I've worked, the types of people that I've worked with, what I'm doing now, what my backstory is, what drives me. People want to hear that. So do think that through as you're putting that together. Quite often, as I mentioned before, it's a lot about having the confidence to be able to step forward and to put yourself out there, and that can feel quite daunting because it's something that you wouldn't naturally feel confident doing. One person that does this really well is Mallory, and I think we've got her on. She's on here with a video. So do just click that link and have a look at the video of Penny. You'll see she's in my bureau. She is a world champion rally driver. She didn't start life as that. She fell upon doing that. It was always an ambition. But what she's done since there is she's gained that experience that really has now stepped her up, and she teaches and works with really high performing teams. She speaks on leadership now, and she's working with, you know, some of the fastest growing manufacturing companies in the world, speaking, and that wasn't where she she'd started off. So it's just going to click into her video. So I'm just going to click off that. But you will see there is a link in there. So, you know, you can certainly just go back through and have a look at it, and it'll take you to the Brand Activators website where you can see some more of the speakers as well on there. Jimmy Creegan, he is another guy who is in my speaker bureau, and I wanted to just give you 2 examples of speakers so that you get a flavour of how they're using their knowledge, how they're working and marketing their branding as well. So Jimmy has a great backstory. He went off to Australia with his sister a good few years ago to go find themselves. And while they were away, they came across some iced coffee and they thought it was absolutely amazing. They hadn't seen anything like that before, tasted anything like that before. So when he came back to the UK, he decided that he wouldn't go back to his old job. He would start creating Jimmy's iced coffee. And they did a great job with that. But the way that they did it, they really owned their brand. And there's a great video here on this link that you'll be able to have a look at as well, where you will see what I mean when I said he owns his brand. He is the face of the brand. It's even called Jimmy's iced coffee, sorry. And when you see him on the supermarket shelves, the reason he's gained that traction and been able to get onto those, really highly contested positions on the supermarket shelves is because it's a really quirky brand, and he is all over that brand. And you'll see in his marketing, people want to stock them. I've got another entrepreneur that I represent who is known as Jam Boy, Fraser Doherty. He created a jam with his nan many years ago, sugar-free jam. And they sell that. He sells that all over the world. He's made millions of pounds selling his jam. People buy the jam because of his story of the jam boy making the jam at the kitchen table with his nan. The more authentic you are in your story, the more that you will get traction and you'll be picked up. So do have a look at the videos. And if you when you're on there, you will see other people's videos as well. If you're looking for a little bit of inspiration. Don't lose yourself in a day, though. That's the only thing. Sanity check 4, prove yourself and prove your business. This is really important, because if you don't tell people what you do and how you do it, and if you don't share all that great stuff that you've been doing, whether that's testimonials and customer feedback, that's some press that you've had done, that's a launch that you've done and you've got some photography from it, that's maybe how you did some good ethical stuff on the side, or how you're looking at sustainability, those sorts of things. Keep all that, build all that, and that's your proof and that's your product. It's like your calling card. So do think about how you build that up, and what else you've maybe got in your arsenal that you can bring out. Sanity check 5, make sure you're visible. So, we say it all the time, don't we? I have a lot of speakers that will just look at one platform, say LinkedIn, and they use that really well, and they've really got to grips with it. I've got other speakers that want to use 5 different platforms, and they seem to manage that really well, and they do have support to do that. But my one big tip here is, while you're making sure you're visible, make sure that it's your voice that's not visible. If you've got an organisation working with you, make sure they're actually putting out what you would say, and they're posting the images that you would want to have posted. The worst thing you can do is open up your social media channel that you're on, whatever it is, and find that they've written something that you don't quite agree with, or it's not something you would normally say. But as far as the end user is looking, they believe that that's you that's speaking. So, do watch that. Don't hand stuff over, but make sure you keep control. That's really important. And that's it, really. That's what I wanted to just cover in that short time, just to give you a flavour of how you can step up and stand out. And I'm sure on your entrepreneurial journey, and as you develop in business and clearly grow your business, because that's what you're wanting to do, just think about those things that you can add to your business. None of that really costs any money, does it, that I've talked about? It's about networking. It's about putting yourself forward. It's about getting yourself out there. It's being strong and brave and bold in front of your brand, so that you step up and step out. And whether or not that's just to, elevate yourself in your business as you get going, or that's because you do want to be on stages and you do want to be speaking and you want to take it to the next level. But these are the things you should do to get started. So good luck with it. And I'm sure you're going to create some absolutely brilliant stellar businesses. Looking forward to watching how that all grows for you.